Hi, I'm Cholder Bones, and today I'm just going to try and do a quick video. I usually rave on a bit, so I'm intending I'm going to be quick and to the point on the great goddess Venus of love and beauty. So I've been working with Venus for 2 years now, yeah, exactly 2 years I think, and I created an altar to her, and because she was not a goddess I was familiar with, but I really sought out her magic around transformation and beauty and appreciation. It was something I felt that I kind of wanted to explore in my life, and so therefore I petitioned her and I did a daily practice. For over a year I fed her light, sometimes food, not all the time, and I created an altar to her. So every single day I bowed before the altar. I sent my mind in a very focused way to her to ask her to be present in my life, and I fed her light with spotlights used for photography, I think. I don't know, I got them in the shop in the photograph type section place, and they were very focused lights on her image. And anyway, I'm very happy to say that I feel a very authentic connection to this beautiful goddess. She's very different from the other presences that I've had the joy and the transformation through self-transformation, I should say, of magic with other gods. If Venus presides over love and beauty in all its forms, I would say that my experience with her is that she, although a subtle presence, an incredibly effective presence. So if other gods that I'm used to working with or have had a longer relationship with were, say, very clear and audible to me and very dynamic in the physical world, I would say that Venus was more of a sense, more of a whisper of internal workings. So very heart-centered energy, a gorgeous sense of, say, heightened self-love and appreciation, but also an incredible presence of bringing clarity on worth, I think, about, say, increasing the standards of love in life. I don't know if I'm being very articulate, and I apologise if I'm not, because I did say I'd get this brief, but okay, to encapsulate how I felt Venus's energy for me, I would say like a self-clarity on the freedom of having social being free of social conditioning towards the impressions of beauty in society, the constricting identification of other people's impressions of beauty, and how we walk through life and may have picked that up either subliminally or because of our peers when we're young and impressionable and told we're supposed to be a certain way. So for me, Venus has been this incredible, subtle and yet unveiling presence of seeing the self clearly around our own signature beauty, our uniqueness. We don't have to conform. There's nothing about conforming to other people's identity around this. How have we entwined ourselves? How can we be free ourselves? And also, and I must credit this to Edwin Courtney, a friend of mine who I respect and admire in the metaphysical field, who worded this perfectly and encapsulated what I felt about Venus, but I hadn't quite worked out the saying, if you like. And he said he believed that Venus almost worked in the reverse of glamour. Now this was wild for me, because I thought, oh my goodness, he's finally said what I felt, but I don't know why I hadn't worked that out. So if we think of glamour, and there's nothing wrong with glamour, I've talked about glamour magic before and the benefits, and I think it's wild, that we call the goddess or a power ourselves or a thought form through us. We have this magical this impression that we want to give people, and it fades away. It's a temporary situation, and to a lesser degree, it's not a lesser degree, but in the physical form, of course, if we apply makeup and appear to be something maybe in an enhanced way, some would say that's creating an illusion. Now, if we think about this wonderful expression of that Venus has the power to work glamoury in reverse, what he was saying was her true essence then is, if we are all, which we are, I believe, divine, beautiful beings, in ourselves naturally occurring, we don't need tweaking, there's nothing wrong with us, we're perfect, complete and whole now, then when we use the energy, or sorry, when we're bathed in the energy of Venus, or any kind of inspired magics of Venus, then what he was saying, it would be like the social conditioning, the misplaced thoughts of ourselves and beauty and what we should be conforming to naturally falls away. So it was interesting for me, because what I found most inspired by Venus around manifesting her energy for me was actually a beauty range. So I've always been into natural beauty products. Yes, I wear makeup and dye my hair, and God knows I love a manicure. I just believe in minimizing the amount of chemical exposure. So I'm not touting I'm a beauty guru, a natural beauty guru. I'm touting that actually, yeah, whatever fits for each person. I love putting natural moisturizers on, making them natural deodorants and so forth. So basically, my communication with Venus, my constant, daily exposure to her beauty and her energy enhanced lots of areas in my life on love and appreciation. And also I felt inspired to call her to work with products of nature that I had been working with already, but in a much more deeper sense. And it felt more like, it was almost like this kind of natural progression of using plant magic as it stands alone anyway, very powerful practice as we know, but using also like the energy of Venus, calling her in. So I sort of saw when I make body butters or exfoliating scrubs or my face serum or, my moisturizer I use at night time, using completely pure and natural products and essential oils. With Venus, I found it was like a dinner party. So there's kind of always a little bit of celebration with her, a bit of like schmoozing. It's all good energy, good vibe. It's in the heart. But what was beautiful is that she'd be like, call in a dinner party. So if I'm going to have cocoa butter, coconut oil, mango butter, and some essential oils, it'd be like also working with the plants and asking about their availability to be working with Venus in this. So, you're kind of not only choosing the guests that you would have at a successful dinner party that was fun and dynamic and happy, but you're also saying, hey, how about we all get on board and even make this a divine experience or something. And so then infusing her energy into the products as I'm making them, and then when applying them and then circulating them amongst friends and family and work colleagues, and seeing the joy that people have in using products of the Venus range and actually feeling happy or feeling more relaxed or feeling loved or connected. And I feel that with this whole thing about glamoury in the reverse is that Venus's product range can also be about, if you don't have to use my product range, yourself, calling this wonderful goddess, having this relationship with her and getting her to infuse anything connected with going on to the body, then it's a wonderful resource. It's a wonderful thing. It's like being blessed with kisses of Venus and then losing the social conditioning. So even the esoteric details aside, what of course we have plants that have their own power, their own synergy, their own beauty to help us feel moisturized and wonderful and well and free of toxicity, of course. And then we also have this blessing of the goddess, which helps us, our own signature beauty to shine. And if we see beauty in ourselves and all around us, all paths open. We know this by about the power of now. We know this about vibrationally being aligned with your own dreams and desires, feeling confident in the now, feeling appreciation. We know that all things come to us. So if we think about, or what I've certainly been thinking about, is beauty in an obsessive form when we get out to the recesses of, say, imbalance, when we are driven to try and starve ourselves to be thin, to be this, to be that, whatever it is that makes us feel uncomfortable. Not saying that anyone shouldn't do anything. They can do what they like, it's their life. But when it becomes an uncomfortable drive where it's not satisfied, because I've kind of always thought addiction was like that, isn't it? When it gets really imbalanced, uncomfortable. Well, addiction is uncomfortable, let's face it. Anything up till addiction's probably okay and a bit excessive. But when you would say you'd cross the line of addiction, then it's this compulsive act of no peace, of seeking. And if we think about that as being a drive to the divine, but it's kind of misplaced and not caught, then I wondered if also the beauty thing, the beauty myths, the excessive need to be something that you can't be or that you're failing to be because you know, your dimension, your waist isn't, it could never be a ballerina, or whatever crazy crap we got going on, because I'm sure we've all been exposed to it. I have. Then if that's to seek, if that drive is about the drive of actually self-appreciation, self-worth, letting your own signature beauty shine because you are divine already, and you're seeking it outside yourself, hence you could be seeking that as a road to the divine, it's attainable, right? Because if we have peace, if we have self-worth, if we have this sort of encapsulated essence of that we are divine beings, that we are actually living on earth and we're okay, then our own beauty can shine, because then all those blocks, all that kind of chasing and weird stuff that goes on when we start losing our balance and seeking outside ourselves, which could never fill the bottomless pit once we're imbalanced, if we find that is within, and that we are okay, and that we are not only lovable, but we love ourselves and we have self-worth, then that also makes sense to me why Venus's war cry, or mantra, maybe better than war cry. I'm so used to working with gods of war that I tend to, you know, bring it into even love goddesses wrong. If we think of her mantra as your body is your temple, it just fits. It just fits. Your body is your temple. All things lay here. All things are honoured here. All things honour the divine from this point. From this point of perfection, not only am I a child of the divine, but all paths are open to me. All paths flow to me. My paths, without this incessant seeking, come to me. So I'm just saying, I think Venus is an amazing energy. I'm saying that the transformative magics of beauty are very moving. To be moved by a piece of music, to be able to feel peace in yourself, to see yourself as beautiful without conforming to others. Massive piece of work for a lot of people. I won't say it was a quick journey for me. I say every day's a school day for me with witchcraft and in my life in general. But I find it fascinating. I just wanted to share that with you, to allow your signature beauty to shine. I think is a beautiful, blessed gift of the wonderful goddess Venus of love and beauty. Thanks for listening.